Have you ever wondered why, despite eating what you consider healthy meals, your memory seems to be getting foggier? Why do you walk into a room and forget what you came for? Why does it take longer to find the right words during conversations? Is it simply aging, or could there be a hidden culprit right in your kitchen cabinet? What I'm about to reveal might shock you. It's not always the main ingredients in your meals that are slowly damaging your brain. You're already consuming them daily without realizing how dangerous they truly are. The majority of seniors make a silent mistake every single day, and they do it with complete confidence, believing they're making the right choice because they've been told their entire lives that convenient foods make life easier. Indeed, some do. But here's the reality that nobody talks about. Not every source is suitable for aging brains. In fact, some sources, the ones we use without question every single week, can gradually cloud your thinking, trigger inflammation in your brain, worsen memory problems, and accelerate cognitive decline. Sources that are marketed as flavor enhancers might actually be brain destroyers, silently attacking your mental clarity, focus, and long-term memory. You see, as we age, our brains change. Our blood-brain barrier becomes more permeable, our detoxification systems slow down, and the foods that used to be harmless can now subtly begin to harm us, particularly certain sources. They might appear innocent, they might taste delicious, but they contain high levels of sodium, artificial preservatives, and inflammatory compounds that cross into your brain tissue, cause neuroinflammation, and literally shrink your cognitive capacity. What's the worst part? The damage is gradual, subtle, and undetectable until one day you experience a sharp decline in word recall, persistent brain fog, or that frightening moment when you can't remember a grandchild's name. The 5 deadliest sources that any senior over 60 should avoid at all costs are going to be revealed today, especially if you want to protect your brain from long-term damage, inflammation, and cognitive decline. Despite their seeming harmlessness, none of these sources are safe for the aging brain. You'll never look at your condiment shelf the same way again once you learn the truth. Therefore, stay with me until the end if you value your mental sharpness and want to maintain clear, focused, and powerful thinking. Your brain might be waiting for this wake-up call, but wait a moment before we dive in. Click the subscribe button and enable notifications if you're serious about your brain health. Because this is where we reveal the truths that nobody discusses about senior nutrition. And I want to know if you're with me right now. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments section. If not, type 0. You don't realize how important your voice is to this community. Today's revelation isn't just about avoiding certain sources. It's about understanding how the modern food industry has created a perfect storm of brain-damaging ingredients that specifically target the vulnerabilities of the aging mind. We're talking about compounds that didn't exist in our grandparents' kitchens, artificial preservatives that accumulate in brain tissue, and flavor enhancers that literally overstimulate your neurons until they burn out. The research is overwhelming. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Neuroinflammation followed 2,147 seniors over 8 years and found that those who regularly consumed high-sodium, preservative-laden sources showed a 34% faster rate of cognitive decline compared to those who avoided them. Think about that number, 34% faster brain aging simply from source choices. But here's what makes this even more critical. Your brain at 60 is not the same as your brain at 30. The protective mechanisms that once shielded you from dietary toxins are now compromised. Your liver processes chemicals more slowly, your kidneys filter less efficiently, and your blood-brain barrier, that crucial defense system, becomes increasingly permeable with age. This means that sources containing monosodium glutamate, high fructose corn syrup, artificial colors, and excessive sodium don't just pass through your system harmlessly anymore. They cross into your brain tissue, trigger inflammatory cascades, and begin a process of neurodegeneration that can accelerate Alzheimer's disease, worsen depression, and rob you of the mental clarity you need to enjoy your golden years. The stakes couldn't be higher. Every meal is an opportunity to either nourish your brain or poison it. Every source choice is a decision between mental clarity and cognitive fog. And the tragic irony, most seniors are unknowingly choosing brain destruction while believing they're simply adding flavor to their meals. Before we reveal these dangerous sources, I need to know where you stand. Are you experiencing any of these warning signs? Difficulty finding words during conversations, walking into rooms and forgetting your purpose, struggling to follow complex conversations or TV plots, feeling mentally foggy after meals? If you're nodding yes to any of these, pay extra attention to what comes next. Your source choices might be the missing piece of the puzzle. Comment below and tell me, what's your biggest concern about maintaining your mental sharpness as you age? Your honest sharing helps our entire community learn and grow together. Remember, we're not just talking about taste preferences here. We're talking about preserving your independence, maintaining your relationships, and ensuring that you can enjoy meaningful conversations with your loved ones for years to come. The power to protect your brain is literally in your hands and in your kitchen cabinet. Let's start with the source that's in virtually every senior's refrigerator: ketchup. Innocent, familiar, and what many consider a harmless condiment. But here's the shocking truth. Commercial ketchup is essentially liquid sugar disguised as a vegetable product, and it's wreaking havoc on aging brains. A single tablespoon of standard ketchup contains 4 grams of sugar. That's equivalent to an entire sugar cube. But seniors often use 2, 3, or even 4 tablespoons on their meals, creating a massive glucose spike that directly impacts brain function. Here's what happens in your brain when you consume this much sugar. Your blood glucose levels skyrocket, triggering the release of inflammatory compounds called cytokines. These cytokines cross your blood-brain barrier and begin attacking your brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory formation. The result? That post-meal brain fog, difficulty concentrating, and the gradual erosion of short-term memory that so many seniors experience. But the sugar is just the beginning. Commercial ketchup is loaded with high fructose corn syrup, which metabolizes differently than regular sugar. While glucose can be used by every cell in your body, fructose can only be processed by your liver. When your liver becomes overwhelmed, which happens more easily as we age, it converts this excess fructose into fat and inflammatory compounds that circulate throughout your body, including your brain. The artificial preservatives in ketchup present another serious threat. Sodium benzoate, commonly used to extend shelf life, has been shown to damage mitochondria, the powerhouses of your brain cells. When mitochondria become damaged, neurons lose their ability to produce energy efficiently, leading to cognitive decline and memory problems. Even more concerning is the interaction between these preservatives and the natural acids in tomatoes. This combination creates benzene, a known carcinogen that can accumulate in brain tissue over time. While the levels in individual servings might seem small, the cumulative effect over months and years can be devastating to cognitive health. The high sodium content in ketchup, often over 150 milliliters per tablespoon, poses additional risks for seniors. Excessive sodium intake doesn't just affect blood pressure. It also impacts the delicate balance of fluids in your brain. This can lead to increased intracranial pressure, reduced blood flow to brain tissue, and accelerated cognitive decline. Barbecue sauce might seem like a harmless way to add flavor to your meals, but it's actually one of the most brain-damaging condiments in the modern diet. The combination of high sugar content, artificial smoke flavoring, and inflammatory preservatives creates a perfect storm for neuroinflammation. Most commercial barbecue sauces contain between 6 to 12 grams of sugar per serving, often from a combination of high fructose corn syrup, brown sugar, and molasses. This sugar bomb doesn't just spike your blood glucose. It triggers a process called glycation, where sugar molecules bind to proteins in your brain, creating harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These AGEs accumulate in brain tissue and are particularly damaging to the proteins that maintain the structure of neurons. Over time, this leads to the formation of plaques and tangles that are hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. The more barbecue sauce you consume, the more AGEs accumulate, accelerating the aging process in your brain. The artificial smoke flavoring in barbecue sauce contains compounds called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, which are known neurotoxins. These chemicals can cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in brain tissue, where they trigger oxidative stress and inflammation. Studies have shown that regular exposure to PAHs is associated with increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases and cognitive decline. Many barbecue sauces also contain caramel coloring, which sounds harmless, but is actually created through a chemical process that produces 4-methylimidazole, 4-MeI, a compound that has been linked to seizures and other neurological problems. While the amounts in individual servings might seem small, the cumulative effect over time can be significant, especially for seniors whose detoxification systems are already compromised. The excessive sodium content in barbecue sauce, often exceeding 200 milliclars per tablespoon, creates additional problems for brain health. High sodium intake has been directly linked to reduced cognitive function, increased risk of stroke, and accelerated brain aging. For seniors who already struggle with blood pressure management, this hidden sodium load can be particularly dangerous. Soy sauce might seem like a healthy, traditional condiment, but for seniors, it represents one of the most concentrated sources of brain-damaging sodium in the modern diet. A single tablespoon contains over 1,000 millimoles of sodium, nearly half of the daily recommended limit for adults over 60. This massive sodium load creates immediate and long-term problems for brain health. In the short term, it causes rapid changes in blood pressure and blood flow to the brain, leading to what researchers call salt-induced cognitive impairment. You might notice difficulty concentrating, mental fog, or confusion within hours of consuming a high-sodium meal. The long-term effects are even more devastating. Chronic high-sodium intake damages the endothelial cells that line your blood vessels, including the tiny capillaries that supply your brain with oxygen and nutrients. This damage leads to reduced blood flow to brain tissue, accelerated aging of brain cells, and increased risk of vascular dementia. Traditional soy sauce also contains naturally occurring compounds called biogenic amines, which can trigger headaches, alter mood, and interfere with neurotransmitter function. For seniors who are already dealing with age-related changes in brain chemistry, these compounds can exacerbate depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. The fermentation process used to make soy sauce creates additional problems. While fermentation can produce beneficial compounds, it also concentrates potentially harmful substances. The high histamine content in aged soy sauce can trigger inflammatory responses throughout the body, including neuroinflammation that directly impacts cognitive function. Many commercial soy sauces also contain wheat, which introduces gluten into the equation. While not everyone is sensitive to gluten, research suggests that gluten sensitivity becomes more common with age, and even mild sensitivity can trigger neuroinflammation and cognitive problems in susceptible individuals. Ranch dressing has become America's most popular condiment, but it's also one of the most dangerous for aging brains. The combination of inflammatory oils, artificial additives, and hidden sugars creates a toxic mixture that directly attacks cognitive function. The primary ingredient in most commercial ranch dressings is soybean oil, which is extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 fats are essential in small amounts, the typical American diet contains 10 to 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3 fatty acids. This imbalance triggers chronic inflammation throughout the body, including neuroinflammation that accelerates cognitive decline. These inflammatory oils become even more dangerous when they're processed and stored. The manufacturing process creates trans fats and oxidized lipids that are particularly harmful to brain tissue. These damaged fats can cross the blood-brain barrier and become incorporated into brain cell membranes, where they disrupt normal cellular function and trigger inflammatory responses. Ranch dressing also contains a cocktail of artificial preservatives, including calcium disodium EDTA, sodium benzoate, and potassium sorbate. These chemicals work together to extend shelf life, but they also accumulate in brain tissue over time. Research has shown that these preservatives can interfere with neurotransmitter function, disrupt the blood-brain barrier, and accelerate aging of brain cells. The hidden sugar content in ranch dressing, often 1–2 grams per tablespoon, contributes to the glycation process we discussed earlier. While this might seem like a small amount, seniors often use multiple tablespoons per meal, and the cumulative effect over time can be significant. Perhaps most concerning is the presence of monosodium glutamate, MSG, in many ranch dressings. MSG is an excitotoxin that can overstimulate neurons to the point of damage or death. While the food industry claims MSG is safe, numerous studies have linked it to headaches, brain fog, and accelerated cognitive decline, particularly in older adults whose protective mechanisms are compromised. Mayonnaise takes the top spot as the most dangerous source for senior brain health, and the reasons are both shocking and scientifically documented. This seemingly innocent condiment combines multiple brain-damaging ingredients in a concentrated form that's particularly harmful to aging neural tissue. The foundation of mayonnaise is inflammatory oils, typically soybean, canola, or sunflower oil. These oils are not only high in omega-6 fatty acids, but they're also processed using high heat and chemical solvents that create trans fats and oxidized lipids. When these damaged fats enter your bloodstream, they trigger a cascade of inflammatory responses that specifically target brain tissue. Research published in the Journal of Neuroinflammation found that regular consumption of these inflammatory oils accelerates the formation of amyloid plaques in the brain, the same plaques found in Alzheimer's disease. The study followed 200 seniors over 5 years and found that those who consumed mayonnaise-based dressings more than 3 times per week showed 40% faster cognitive decline compared to those who avoided them. The egg yolks in mayonnaise, while nutritious in their natural form, become problematic when processed and stored at room temperature. The oxidation process creates harmful compounds called oxysterols, which are particularly toxic to brain cells. These compounds can cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in areas of the brain responsible for memory and executive function. Commercial mayonnaise also contains calcium disodium EDTA, a preservative that can interfere with the absorption of essential minerals like zinc and magnesium, nutrients that are crucial for brain health. This chelating agent doesn't just preserve the mayonnaise, it also binds to important minerals in your body and removes them, creating deficiencies that can accelerate cognitive decline. The high calorie density of mayonnaise, nearly 100 calories per tablespoon, contributes to weight gain and metabolic dysfunction. Obesity in seniors is directly linked to increased risk of dementia, reduced brain volume, and accelerated cognitive aging. The hidden calories in mayonnaise-based salads and sandwiches can contribute significantly to these problems. Perhaps most alarming is the presence of advanced glycation end products, ages in processed mayonnaise. These compounds form when proteins and sugars interact under heat, creating toxic substances that accumulate in brain tissue and accelerate aging. The longer mayonnaise sits on store shelves, the more ages it contains, making it an increasingly dangerous brain toxin. Now that you understand the dangers lurking in your condiment cabinet, let's talk about the protective alternatives. These 5 brain-boosting sources don't just avoid harm. They actively nourish your cognitive function and protect against age-related decline. First brain protector, extra virgin olive oil with herbs. Real, cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil is liquid gold for your brain. Rich in oleic acid and antioxidants, it reduces neuroinflammation and supports healthy blood flow to brain tissue. Mix it with fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, or oregano, and you create a powerful neuroprotective source that's been proven to slow cognitive decline. Second brain protector, homemade avocado-based dressings. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats that support brain cell membrane health. They also contain lutein, a carotenoid that accumulates in brain tissue and protects against age-related cognitive decline. Blend ripe avocado with lemon juice, garlic, and herbs for a creamy, brain-healthy sauce. Third brain protector, fermented vegetable sauces. Traditional fermented sauces, like properly made sauerkraut juice or kimchi liquid, provide beneficial probiotics that support the gut-brain connection. These sauces help maintain healthy neurotransmitter production and reduce systemic inflammation that can damage brain tissue. Fourth brain protector, tahini-based dressings. Tahini, made from sesame seeds, is rich in healthy fats, protein, and minerals like magnesium and zinc that are essential for brain health. It also contains sesamol, a compound that has been shown to protect brain cells from oxidative damage. Fifth brain protector, homemade pesto, fresh basil, olive oil, nuts, and garlic create a sauce that's packed with brain protective compounds. Basil contains flavonoids that reduce neuroinflammation, while the healthy fats support neurotransmitter production and brain cell maintenance. You've now seen the complete picture. Despite being marketed as harmless flavor enhancers, 5 common sources have a devastating impact on brain health after age 60. But here's the empowering truth. You have the power to protect your cognitive function through simple, informed choices. It's not about deprivation or bland food. It's about being smart, educated, and proactive about your brain health. When you start choosing brain protective sources and avoiding the dangerous ones, you'll notice the difference. Clearer thinking, better memory, improved focus, and that mental sharpness you thought was gone forever. Your brain is your most precious asset. It holds your memories, your personality, your ability to connect with loved ones. Don't let commercial food companies rob you of your cognitive future for the sake of convenience and artificial flavors. I want to hear from you now. Tell me in the comments below what you learned today and what change you're ready to make. Are you ready to clean out your condiment cabinet? Which brain protective source are you most excited to try? When we share our journeys, we all grow stronger together. If this video opened your eyes or helped you understand the connection between food and brain health, please hit the like button. Click subscribe to ensure you don't miss any information that could change your cognitive future. Turn on the notification bell so you're always informed about the latest brain health discoveries. Before you go, please type 1 if this video was helpful, or 0 if it wasn't. Your feedback helps me create content that truly serves our community. Remember, your brain health is in your hands, and every meal is an opportunity to choose cognitive vitality over decline. Stay sharp, stay informed, and never forget that your independence and mental clarity are worth fighting for. Your brain is counting on you to make the right choices, starting with your very next meal.